guys, week 4 already. Here we are, a month into our sessions. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Today we have another 2 new songs. We're going to start off with Fields of Gold by Sting, and then follow it up with Bye Bye Blackbird, a beautiful jazz standard. It's been covered by absolutely tons of people. There's some interesting chords in that one, so we'll look at those in great detail shortly. But let's start off with Fields of Gold. This is a really straightforward one. I put it in a nice ukulele key. So we've got A minor, F, C and G. Quick reminder of those if you're not too sure. We've got the A minor, which is the middle finger on the 2nd fret of your G string there. We move nice and smoothly to an F chord from that, which is just adding the index finger on to the E string here, 1st fret. So you can move seamlessly between those two. No need to take that middle finger off, just add that one on for the F. And then the C, we've left the ring finger free to play the 3rd fret of that A string. The slightly trickier one obviously is the G chord. So that's index finger here on the 2nd fret of the C string, middle finger on the bottom string or the A string of that same 2nd fret, and then the ring finger plumps in between there and the 3rd fret, so you make that nice triangle shape there. It's very repetitive, the structure. There's just one little bridge section which is slightly different, which is at the bottom of the 1st page. Everything else timing wise remains the same, so it's a combination of 4 beats and 2 beats for the most part. We can do our usual strum, which is this down, down, up, down, up strum. Unless perhaps you haven't learned that one yet, you could just do straight downward strums, works really nicely. And then you can work your way up to the syncopated strum that we've been using on the other pieces. You can just do straight downward strums, maybe add in 1 or 2 extra ups. So you could do this whole piece with a 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, just adding an extra up in on those chord changes if you want to. If you do choose to do the syncopated strum, usual down, down, up, down, up, make sure you keep the feel nice and straight. Don't swing it along. This is got a very straight feel. So amounts of beats for those of you that like to write them down or just want to check them. That first A minor is 4 beats. 2, 3, 4. The F that follows is then 8 beats. We get 2 notes of 4, then back to the C for 4 beats. And it's the same on the A minor for 4 beats. Now the next bit, we just get 2 on the F over the word jealous, and 2 on the C, then we get 2 on the F, 2 on the G, and then we get a nice sort of instrumental section here. Comes in between a couple of the sections, but not all of them. But on this one we do 4 beats on the A minor, 4 on the F, 4 on the C. Okay, so I think that's the same each time. And then you can see probably on the 2nd section, I'm trying to avoid calling it verses and choruses because I feel like it's sort of the same thing all the way through, apart from the different bit, which I'm going to call a bridge. So on the 2nd paragraph there, it ends just with a simple C, which takes us straight back into the 3rd paragraph. But the 3rd paragraph again has that instrumental bit afterwards, the longer, the A minor, the F and the C. So just follow it along carefully really. When we get down to the bridge, which is that section at the bottom of the 1st page, we have the F. I never made promises like this. They're all 4 beats until we get down to and we'll walk in fields of gold. The F and the G are only 2 beats each. Okay, and we get that repeated in the very last section on the 2nd page. So the double pager, make sure you've got both pages up and ready. Okay, let's have a play through, shall we? So the singing note that we start on is a high C. And we'll have a little count in. We're not going to have an introduction, we're just going to come straight in. So I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3. You'll remember we start strumming down on that first A minor chord, halfway through the word remember. You remember me. That's where it comes in. Okay? Alright, so just enjoy this one. It's a nice, easy sing and strum along, hopefully, of a very beautiful song. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her head came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. See the west wind move like a lover's soul upon the fields of barley. Feel her body rise when you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. I never made promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken, but I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. Yes, we'll walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walk in fields of gold. When we walk in fields of gold. When we walk in fields of gold. Oh, lovely. All right then. Next song, Bye Bye Blackbird. A bit more of a challenge, this one. I've tried to counterbalance a nice simple one with a more interesting one. I don't know if I mean interesting, but more involvement. So, chords, chords, chords. Let's have a little look. So, F should be fine. C7, index finger down here. So that's on the first fret. A string. F diminished. So, in our sessions, we've done quite a lot of these in various places, but it is a tricky one to get into. So, it's a bar chord, but we don't use a bar. Or you can use a bar if you want to. Your choice. I'm going to show you both ways. So I tend to do an all 4 finger approach. So this one, index finger on the top string, on that G string, missed one out on that second string, and then we have the middle finger on the same first fret on that third string down, or second string up, however you prefer to look at it. So that's the first part. We then take the ring finger and put it on the C string of the second fret, and then the little finger on the bottom string of that same second fret. So everything's happening within these 2 top frets here. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, going in a little spidery pattern. taking turns. So that is a diminished shape. So we can take this diminished shape and put it anywhere on the ukulele and it stays a diminished shape. But this particular one here is F diminished because we've got the F note in there. Give that one a little try. So remember, you can pause the video and take some time to really figure out that shape. Check you're happy with where your fingers are going. And then restart it up again when you feel happy with that shape. Okay, G minor 7. Pretty straightforward, this one actually. You bar the bottom 2 strings. Oh no, sorry, I forgot to show you the bar chord of the other one. So you can do it with those 4 fingers. Some people find it more comfortable to bar the whole of the 1st fret and then pop the middle finger and the ring finger on those same places. It's the same chord, middle finger on the 2nd string down, ring finger on the bottom string. It's the same chord as the all 4 fingers. It just uses a bar to cover all 4 up here. Some people find that more comfortable for the diminished shape. Your choice. Okay. So back to the G minor 7, index finger on the bottom 2 strings of the 1st fret, middle finger on the 2nd string down on the 2nd fret. So we're barring that bottom 2, pushing that index finger down on them both, and then the middle finger. G minor 7. We've done quite a few of those. Okay, so that takes you through the 1st section. The 2nd section has got a few more things going on. They all sound very scary, but there are some nice easy ways to do them, so I'm going to show you a couple of different versions. As always, 7th chords are optional. If you haven't learned them yet, you could just stick to the original versions. So for instance, in the previous section, instead of a C7, if you wanted to, you could just do a regular C if you haven't learned your 7 yet. And the same goes for the F7 and the D7. But if you want to know what they are and you'd like to put them in, the F7 is a regular F. Then we use the ring finger to play the 2nd string down on the 3rd fret. Get F7. Okay. A minor 7 flat 5. Now we're getting into some real juicy jazz chords. So the best version for this, the full true version, is that we take these 3 fingers, little finger, middle finger and ring finger. I don't know why I did it in that order. These 3 anyway, and put them on the bottom 3 strings of the 3rd fret. So actually it's like when you do a C minor chord, you're going to make sure you use those fingers, because then we need to take the index finger and put it on the top string there, on that G string of the 2nd fret. So it's like an A minor and then you add on a C minor on the bottom. And the combined chord that we get is a lovely, juicy sounding A minor 7 flat 5. If that feels really awkward to you, you can get away actually with just playing the 2 middle strings on the 3rd fret. Doesn't sound as good, you don't get quite as much texture, quite as much colour on the chord, but you can get away with that little cheat there, those 2 fingers. It's not the full chord, but it will do, if you see what I mean. Maybe you could start with that and then work your way up to filling out the whole chord. Okay, so one more time, that was index finger on the top string, like your A minor, but index finger, top string 2nd fret, and then all 3 on the bottom 3 strings of the 3rd fret. Okay, and then the only other one we've got there is the G minor 7 flat 5, which is the bottom 3 strings of the 1st fret. You could bar it, you can use whatever fingers you like. I tend to just slide down, so we've just done the A minor one, and then you can just go down to that one there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 strings of the 1st fret, leaving your G string here open. Okay. So this piece is basically the first 2 sections twice. We've got the first bit and then the second bit, and then they happen again, but we're going to do the first bit on the repeat as an instrumental. I've written out the chords for you, they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same amount of beats, but I've just written them out in slashes. So those forward slashes that we've got there are the amounts of beat per chord. So that will help guide you actually now, because I'm going to tell you how many amounts of beats we've got in each section. So we start up on that F with 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just stick to nice straight downward strums on this, it really suits the piece, or you can start to add in a bit more ups and downs with a nice swingy jazz feel as you become more confident. But for now, let's just mark through it with those single strums. So 4 on the F, 2 on the C7, back to 2 on the F on that top line, same in the instrumental. Then we've got another 2 Fs, I've marked them in just so you can follow the structure. Then only 2 beats on that F diminished, so it's a big change from the F to the F diminished. So I suggest again you pause the video and just take some time to practice changing between those 2 chords. Like we do in session, we just sit and do maybe 4 beats on each, then 2 beats on each, and then just 1 on each. Just get really used to that chord change, okay? So 2 beats, G minor 7 for 2 beats, C7 for 2 beats. This is a nice slow song, so don't panic. I know there's lots of 2 beats, but it's nice and steady. Then we're back to the G minor 7. We play that for 6 whole counts, or if you'd prefer to stick with the timing that we're looking at, those divisions of 4, you can think of it as 4 beats followed by another 2 beats, and then we get 2 C7s. And then in the last line there, we get 2 G minor 7s, 2 C7s, and 4 Fs. Okay, so that's your first section. Next bit, we have the F7, 4 beats, then we're on to that lovely new chord, 2 beats only, 2 D7s, then we're on to the G minor 7, 4 beats again, and then we get 2 on the G minor 7 flat 5, 2 on the C7, and we're back to the F, so that was 4 beats, back to that A minor 7 flat 5 for 2, 2 beats on the G minor 7, 2 C7s, okay, and 4 Fs there that will lead you into the instrumental. When we do it at the very end, we just do a single F, okay? Okay, I'm going to do this on a really lovely, relaxed tempo. Enjoy it. It suits the ukulele so well, I think.